Yo, I'm Chef. Today we're reacting to another video by Jubilee. This is six plus size people versus one fake. Let's jump in.
Does everyone here wear
Let's jump right
jeans?
in.
Like
Yeah.
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 Where do you guys buy your jeans from?
I used to be a little
Honestly
bigger
depends.
too, yo.
I've had some luck. I
can't
mean,
tell.
I present more masculine,
See
so a
the
lot of the
stretch
times
marks?
I will like resource to Old Navy. I'll just kind of go there and like get one of the bigger pairs. I actually did just get a pair from Old Navy like a couple weeks ago, and I love it, but it's a little big
Getting
in the waist,
jeans
so I
is
do
one
have
of
to
the
take it in.
hardest things
I'm probably gonna
going
tailor
up.
it though. So, but
That
I
fit
do
you,
love
like,
Old
properly.
Navy's jeans, especially their men's section.
I don't really wear jeans,
fuck.
but I think the only two pairs that I own are from Shein.
I feel like it depends what style I'm going for.
True.
Like for fitted jeans, I definitely think like Good American's my go-to. Obviously they're like on the higher end of like pricing wise, but they like make my ass look great.
Well, that's the thing. Also, like getting the confidence to actually wear what you want,
Is
it took
he
me
just not gonna
forever.
talk,
So
the fake?
when I actually did, I'm still in the mentality when I was like 16, 17 and I could fit in a medium. So I'm like, oh, I can't go to the same stores. Like I can't go to a mall and buy clothes anymore.
I would say 2 years ago, I would go to like Goodwills and Value Villages, but that has become a lot harder as of late.
The reason that I chose to do this was mainly because it meant a lot to me to share the idea of like, as you transition away from being in a bigger body to potentially being in a skinnier body, that is not something that like makes you harder working or better at like achieving some sort of goal than the other person or another person that you may see in a plus size body. And going into it, I like promised myself I wasn't gonna tell any lies. I was gonna be very truthful and speak on
shit.
every kind of experience that I had
Seems
had
like a
leading up to
very
today.
honest
I wanted to
mole.
make
They
sure
be
that what I was
capping their
saying was
heads off
stuff
usually.
that I lived through. I think putting on a character would be disrespectful to the other people that were here today.
I just thrift most of my clothing, and like I have a tailor for my pants anyway. Like
out to
back
the
in,
tailors.
yeah, 100%. Especially when I'm back home. I'm 15 minutes outside of New York City, so I usually just commute in there. There's this one thrift store, I don't know if anybody's been, called the L Train, and like that is really good for carrying bigger sizes. Back in my actual hometown, I can go to my tailor very easily. It's like a 5-minute drive from my house.
Okay.
So I thrift probably 90% of my clothing, cheaper,
Slay.
saves
Okay.
energy, and like it feels way easier.
There
fun to
is
do.
no way he's gonna go pay like $15 for jeans, then go pay $45. Like I get it, as a plus size person, tailoring for some things, great. But I could not believe for a second that he is tailoring every set. And I was like, he is not fat anymore.
Not gonna lie, I shop at Ross
I like
a
the way
lot
she
or
said that shit.
Marshalls,
It's funny.
and finding jeans is hard. It's a hit or miss.
wow.
Sometimes at Ross they'll have bigger sizes, sometimes they don't. But if it says stretch, then I'm usually good on it.
I actually didn't even share where I got my jeans from. I realized that. I usually shop at like American Eagle. Jeans in general are like a struggle to find. Either they fit your thighs and they don't fit your waist, or they fit your
Yeah.
waist and
Oh my god, they
it's a
know,
struggle.
bro. Fuck you, ad, bro. Fucking hate them. Bro, if I was in this shit, you gotta peep the bass in their voice, bro.
Oh man. I
Bigger
did
people got a
feel,
little, like a
I guess, invalidated in a
little
point
bass in
because they
their
were
tone,
talking
you
about,
know?
brands and, and stuff that I can't really afford. So I thought my answer of, oh, I shop at Ross because that's what I could afford, I thought that's what kind of eliminated me.
So I was gonna say, if
I
any of you
mean,
guy did any form of like
nothing
performance
you
as a
could
kid,
really
I know
do,
we were
gang.
talking about how some of us were models before, sorry about names, but how that affected you growing up and how like the idea of performing and being on stage was definitely more difficult for you than your peers.
That is an awesome question.
Well, you start since there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was on the math team for my elementary school, which was like very fun and I enjoyed it a lot. But before our first meet, when we were doing practices and such, they gave us the vest sizes. And I remember putting on the largest vest size that they had,
Damn.
and it clinging
was
to
he
my
wa-
skin and making me very
was he,
uncomfortable.
like, a bigger
and I
kid,
walked
too?
into the bathroom, and I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I was
just
like, I can't
lost
do
the weight?
this, and I quit. And it really frustrated me that I let that take away something that meant a lot to me. That was definitely like my first experience with like, it is very difficult for me that outside elements are going to take who I am and make
Right.
that a form of a problem.
As a woman
Very well
in a plus
articulated,
size
man.
theater community,
Like,
it's like
I always got the
And,
funny
voices
roles or the really unattractive
were
roles. And I'm like, I'm big. That doesn't mean I'm hilarious. Like,
Girl, we could talk about this forever.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
super powerful because performing and becoming into
I'm not
yourself,
sure if you gonna
you either
win,
have to
though.
be overly confident and fake it till you make it, or it will tear you down. So I'm very sorry that that happened to you.
How do we all identify? Do we identify, like, what do we use to label
mean
ourselves if
identify?
you have one?
PHAT. Thank you.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
With the
I have
PH.
a weird feeling about that one for some reason.
Really?
I like just normal.
Yeah.
Because I'll say fat and then people be like, oh my God, fat. And then I'll be like, it's not inherently a bad
No,
word.
not a
It's
taboo
an
word.
Like,
That's the
adjective.
biggest-
I
that's
say
the
fat all
thing.
the
No, but it
time.
is kind of taboo because I was like, oh yeah, I'm fat. Don't say that. You're beautiful. I am gorgeous, but I am
I
fat.
didn't say I was ugly.
It's oh my God,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
I was
People
like,
treat it like it's
right,
taboo, and
right.
that's
so
the
it's
issue, really.
it's two truths. I'm like,
Exactly,
I,
yeah.
I
It depends
do,
on who
I
it's
feel
coming from,
beautiful, but I am
honestly. I'm
fat.
not gonna
Being
lie.
fat or plus size
Being
does not
called
mean
it by
that we're not
somebody
active,
else.
that we're not nice people, that we're not worthy. It really sucks when people treat you differently because you're a size 18 rather than a size 2 or 4.
When I, like, for example, great example. I went
People
Halloween
are just always
shopping,
gonna cheat.
and
my
it's
God.
really hard because, like, first and foremost, trying to find the plus size costumes. They're like, it's just kind of integrated everywhere, and it's like realistically, you have 200 costumes here, but only like 10 are for plus size. Then I go on to the other costumes, and I was like, my choice is to be like a duck or the plus size nun costume covered boobs, knees, everything, but the skinny costume for the other nun was like tits out for Harambe. And I'm like, so I literally like
Halloween
my choice is like
costumes
be
are
a bubble
struggle,
bath
I'm not
or a
gonna lie.
duck, and I'm like, I need a plus size section when I walk into somewhere because we have not progressed in human society.
There was this
I was-
brand
sorry.
that that had this big campaign saying they were launching extended sizes, and then it came out and it was like completely different than the straight sizes, and I'm like, we are just asking for the same thing.
Why
in
do
a
they get
size.
cocktail dresses
It's
and I get moons?
literally.
Because it's a healthier weight for you to be at. And if we cater towards, like, plus size, then people are going to get too comfortable. I'm surprised she got eliminated.
What? Me?
Girl.
Yo! Oh my God!
I didn't know it.
Who voted me out?
I am equally.
Can you just get out?
I just.
Thank you.
I'm psychic. I know. One of you was on to something.
If you think the mole is still in the box and you wish to continue playing the game, please raise your hand.
2 out of... Oh, she
I
just
think
saved it. ain't
the
gonna lie.
odd one out is probably somebody who lived as a fat
It used
person
to be, yeah.
but lost the weight. But usually a lot of the
Right.
times people that do grow up fat or go through weight loss journey, they end up being more fat phobic. That's not in all cases. It's not in all cases, but
Yeah.
it does happen a lot.
I don't believe
Turning
in
it on
fat
that, like I really
phobic,
do
I'm
think
not
that
gonna
in my
lie.
personal experience, people that
Like
go
that.
from being in a bigger body into like
I
becoming
feel like
skinny
you should.
feels
I feel like you should be a little bit fat phobic in the way that you should strive to be healthy, and not overweight.
some sort of resentment, especially because I think they tie achievement to what they've done for some reason. Like there's this very big principle of like, look at what I've done, and they push this like American dream-esque mentality of
Honestly.
Yeah,
like
and
genuinely
it's
like I worked
exactly-
hard and I did this. And it's like, well, not everybody wants to
Yeah,
do that.
and
Not
like,
everybody
that's
wa-
fine.
like,
That's fine.
Yeah,
If
that's
you want to
fine.
lose weight, do that. But you don't need to like project that onto everyone else. And I would think if you were somebody who lived that experience
You
as
would
a fat person,
understand.
you would
More
understand.
Honestly, dating, I've met many guys who were like, I used to be big, so I understand that being smaller is more desirable, and it's just like this conversation just rubs me the wrong way because I've been met with so many people who think like that, and like the worst person I dated was very fat phobic, and they used to be bigger and they lost weight, and
How
they
you
were
gonna
like
date
shaming me
somebody
about my
that's
body,
fat
being
phobic
like,
as a
you
fat
know,
person?
Red
we'd
flag.
have better sex if you were smaller and all that
God,
shit. Like,
no.
oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, 100,
This-
and it's the connotation, right? Like
Yeah.
because they like quote. Sorry,
Fat is
I was gonna.
bad.
Well, I was gonna throw up air quotes, but we all blindfolded.
Yeah.
Because they like put in the work.
Yeah.
That part being in air quotes, and like.
I mean, it
became-
is.
Yeah.
Let's not act like losing weight isn't an accomplishment, because if it wasn't, then everybody in this room would be, underweight, or not underweight. I mean, normal weight.
Into a skinnier body,
Yeah.
all of a sudden there's this idea
Wait,
like
yeah.
you aren't working as well.
Yeah.
But, not everybody, but again, not everybody
Yeah.
wants to work that hard.
Exactly.
quote unquote.
Can we also go down the line and maybe just say if we have been fat or plus size most of our life, or if
Oh,
it,
actually, that's great because I wanted to say for me it was a little bit different. growing in South America, there isn't a lot of overweight people, obese people, and I've always been curvy, so to speak. And I was fine, but I was still like, you know how they say I spent my skinny years thinking I was fat? So I moved to the US when I was 16, and I started gaining weight. You know, the life here is different. I wasn't as active, I wasn't doing sports anymore, and then I was on birth control. So for me, it was hormonal imbalance that made me gain a lot of weight. But it really sucked, and you know, in my own skin, I'm gonna start crying. I'm sorry.
Damn.
You know, like
That's sad.
being skinny, and
Oh,
like
shit.
now you're fat, and like everybody treats you different.
I think it's difficult too because you know, I grew up fat. I've been fat my entire life, and I've always envied, in a way, like I've always
skinny
wondered
body.
what it would be like to live in a thin body and have people treat you differently. Like I've dreamt about it.
Bro,
And
I've lost about like 70 pounds. Bro, when I tell you people treat you differently, it's like the biggest flip ever.
I
Oh
think
my
that
God.
is really difficult when you like
It's kinda
yeah,
crazy
exactly.
to see,
I
you
understand
know?
what you're saying. Like you've lived both, and it's hard because you know, from people who haven't, it's just we can't even
You don't even
fathom.
understand.
Yeah.
And speaking into the whole spending your skinny years feeling like you're fat, I definitely relate to that. I'm a bulimia survivor. I was
What's that?
bulimic for about 8 years, and I also played
I've heard
volleyball
of
and was
being
in, like in
bulimic,
theater
but
and
I
stuff like
haven't
that.
heard
And
of, like,
the
a
only reason I
bulimia
stopped throwing
survivor.
up and binging and purging is because I was losing my voice, and I love to sing, and I got nodes.
No, that's the worst. Oh my God.
I went from mezzo soprano to mezzo alto,
Are we all crying now?
pretty
We're all
much.
just crying together.
But yeah, like if it didn't affect my voice, I don't know if I would have stopped.
Damn. These guys, man, this is a lot. I don't know, man.
It really broke my heart after you know
Low-key
having to
looking
vote
like you
people out
better
who,
stay
in my heart, I knew were fat. To just feel invalidated, that sucks. That really sucks.
Oh, you're the only guy left too. Fuck you, ads. Let's get it. Damn.
What? Because I wasn't crying. I'm sorry, y'all.
So the eliminations is something that we're wrestling with. Do you feel like it took away from the experience?
It was just like being in the space where we were sharing our stories and everything felt so heartfelt, but it's just a game. But
Yeah.
overall, it was really awesome to be in the space and have these conversations that don't happen often if you don't have fat friends to talk about them with. As someone who grew up very self-conscious and didn't know where to look
Her
and
hair
turn
is,
to
like,
see people
valid
like
as
me,
fuck. I'm
I
not
take
gonna
that
lie.
on as an adult to speak about these things and
cool.
have these conversations that we're still confused about.
If you think the mole is still in the box and you wish to continue playing the game, please raise your hand.
Nah, they not raising
I
it.
swear to God, if anyone's lying, oh my God, I'm so
For real.
pissed.
He
If
the
the
only
lights
guy
turn
too.
green, that means you have
What a
voted the
guy,
mole
bro.
out and you win. If the lights turn red,
He was
that
definitely
means the
overweight
mole is still in
as
the
a
box
kid,
and you lose. 1, 2, 3.
Oh no.
We lost.
On the count
He's
of
still
3,
lying,
everyone
like,
can take off their
oh, like he
blindfolds.
actually
1,
give a fuck.
2, 3.
I knew it. I
Yeah.
wow.
You did it.
I
You
told a
obviously did
heartfelt
it.
story
you know?
about dating someone fat phobic. You guys voted me.
Okay, can we talk about 1,000,001 reasons why it was Derek?
Okay, the only one that got me was like the theater. Like I really could relate with that. So I obviously know that
No.
you felt like you really
That
were
was
through
your
that.
biggest
I
red
think
flag.
that was
Red
true.
flag?
No, it was true. That's what I'm
promise
saying.
That's an
Gave me
important
away
thing.
was
Nothing.
taking you away was
There is
that
not a single.
you
Yeah.
were getting-
So when I was in 4th grade, I was 4 feet tall. I was 144 pounds, and my doctor told me that I was morbidly obese, and it was a very like self-image wrecking thing for me because he used language that made it seem like I needed to change, as opposed to just assessing where I was. Like I said, everything that I talked about before was true, but when we were talking about people being
Well, morbidly obese, I'm sorry, but it has to, like, some change has to happen for your health if you actually, like, want to see years to come, you know?
being incredibly
Like,
fat phobic
I
that
don't
go
know.
through a transition of being in a bigger body and then ending up quote unquote skinnier. That experience for me was I mistook the pain that came with not having self-love as being associated with a number on a scale. And as I kept moving the goalposts further
You
and
don't need
further
to
away
look
from
at
myself
numbers,
and saying like,
man.
this will be when I'm happy
Just
with
wait
myself,
till
and
you
this will
feel
be the
good
time in my
about
life where I like
yourself
the way I look.
and
And
go
once I do
fuck
this, I'll be
yourself.
happy with myself. I was no happier than when I started. I just kept being further and further from a goal that I was changing. I am happy not because of the way that my body looks, but because I can have self-acceptance, and that's a very difficult journey for anybody to go on, and me losing any form of weight played no factor in that. I hope
Yeah,
that
I
in
mean,
watching this
it's a
video,
self-journey.
somebody can learn that the horrible stereotype that they have of plus-size people, whether that be that they're lazy or sluggish or they don't eat right or they're not healthy, there are people that are plus-size that are faster than you. There are people that are plus-size that are in better
Obviously.
conditions than the average human being. I was definitely plus-sized for a long period of my life, and I still feel the residuals of like the way people treat you for being in a plus-size body, like to this day.
This is
Yeah.
the first time that I'm hearing a lot of these things.
He got
Because at
voted
least
out
for
so
me
fast
growing
for
up,
nothing.
it wasn't like
for
being
shopping
bullied or
at
anything
Ross,
like that. It
bro.
was just like my own
Fuck is
mind
wrong with
attacking
that?
myself. Like seeing in the mirror and be like, oh my God, you're fat. You need to lose weight. Outside of that, like I didn't experience like the bullying and name calling. I didn't see any of that. So like hearing you guys, like that's a lot. I couldn't tell like how I had an eating disorder when I was younger and how I overcame that, and then I slowly started drifting back to it, and I'm trying to lose weight now in a more healthy manner.
Yeah.
So
See, that's what
I
I
wish I
fuck
could
with.
have told that story.
Just
to
change your diet a
the group.
little, you know.
I'm sorry to anybody that shared
Especially
something
if you're
personal
buying
and then
your
like
own food,
because
you
of
know?
this feels like they were lied to or abused. Like
No,
I came into the
not at
game
all.
with the
No.
idea of just having fun, and I promised myself like
Damn.
I'm not gonna lie a single time that when I speak. It's like I didn't want to like come in here and build a
Yeah,
character.
it's what's up.
I hope people who watch this video, no matter what size you are, I think it's important that we're just kind to people and treat
Yeah, real
everyone with
shit.
respect.
I say you just always should strive for being active and as healthy as possible. But hey, that's just me. End of the day, fuck with my socials. Catch y'all at the next one.